அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி You are filled with Jyoti, the light of God, and it is a light of compassion and intelligence. You are filled with the light of Arun, the light of grace, the light of God. It is an intelligent light. It's a light filled with compassion. Listen to his chant. You become both compassionate and infinitely intelligent. அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி
அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி is the mantra revealed by Shiva. Listen to the song, develop compassion and enlightenment.
அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி தனிப்பெரும் கருணை அருட்பெரும் ஜோதி You are filled with Jyoti, the light of God, and it is a light of compassion and intelligence. You are filled with the light of Arun, the light of grace, the light of God. It is an intelligent light. It's a light filled with compassion. Listen to his chant. You become both compassionate and infinitely intelligent. Arutperum Jyoti, Arutperum Jyoti, Arutperum Jyoti, Tanipperum Karunai. Arutperum Jyoti, Arutperum Jyoti, Arutperum Jyoti, Tanipperum Karunai. Arutperum Jyoti,
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of our daily Ancestor Blessings call here at Ply Center. Welcome, everyone who is joining for the first time in these YouTube series that we have been presenting over the past several years. And we are so happy that you're joining to find out how to get the blessings from your ancestors during the most powerful time of the year, which is called Mahalaya, and it means the fortnight of the ancestors. So there are 15 days, 16, depending on where you are in the world, but there are 15 days this year here in Eastern Daylight Savings Time, Toronto, Canada. I am SUCHARITA, for those of you who don't know me, and wishing you all a very, very warm welcome. We are going to dive into a beautiful practice today where if you have the items to offer your ancestors to receive their blessings, then you can go along with us as we do the demonstration. We're going to start this program with a very short video clip. So you have an overview of what the whole setup looks like. And then this is just one example of how you can set this up at home and do it every day between sunrise and sunset hours. And then you can also stick around, and we're going to do a live one. So we will, as we did yesterday, and you can watch that recording from yesterday, we will be asking for Dr. Ply's grace and blessings to come in and oversee the whole process so that we can get the most out of this group energy. So for some reason, our soul said, hey, this is the best thing to do for our ancestors, because they're no more. Remember, your ancestors are people who are dead. They're not your grandparents who are still alive. There are people who have passed away. They're no more in the physical world. So they can also be aunts and uncles and cousins and even children. It can be anyone that is part of your gene pool. And then they have passed away and they're stuck in places that they don't know how to navigate. Just like when we're stuck, when we don't have finances, or we don't have food to eat, or we don't have clothes or shelter, or we don't have the medicines, we don't have the means to meet with people who can help us. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to offer TARPANAM, which is the food for the ancestors, and then they will be coming and you will feel them in the palm of your hand as you're doing the offering, or you may feel there's energy around you, or you may feel tingling or heat or pressure, or even like pain that pops up in your head, or pain that pops up in your body, or you feel like really lethargic. So these are all the physical symptoms that can be associated with the ancestors coming into the earth plane at this time. So it's a big party that goes on, but we need to bless them so that they can in turn bless us. It's always a reciprocal way of existing between this world and in the spiritual world. And that is a universal law. So you knew that on some level, and thank you so much for joining. And we are going to feel this collective energy. So some might be even shaking a little bit, and that's going to be just fine. Some people have said that they cried the whole time to release. So it's a cathartic release as well, because our ancestors are inside of us. They share our genes, they share our DNA. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about the importance of participating in Mahalaya, whether you do that here every day, which we encourage you and invite you to do. And then there are also paid services where the Vedic specialists who can actually see those ancestors. Those ancestors are being called on our behalf, those people who are sponsoring those rituals in India and various power spots that Dr. Ply has pointed out and said, this is going to be the place where people can get the sins of the ancestors absolved. So when the Vedic specialists are doing it on our behalf, they actually can see those ancestors who are disturbed and disturbing us. And they can also see the exalted ancestors, the ones who will help us. So this is what 2020 is all about, bringing in the exalted ancestors that may not be part of our biological gene pool. So they are our spiritual ancestors. They can be saints, they can be siddhas, they can be spiritual masters, they could be priests or popes or nuns or monks who have evolved lifetime after lifetime as guardian angels to help us out. And then it was their time to go, but they still want to help us out. So when we invite them with this offering, then they will come. So it's this, we have to open up a communication line. We have to commune with their souls, their spirits, because this physical body and sending a text message on your phone isn't going to cut it. So this spiritual technology, which we'll share about, you're going to see about, that is like the divine text message that will go directly to the ancestors, and then they will come and participate and be so happy and then bless us. So today's topic is all about praying for the continuation of our lineage. Now, you may say, well, what has that got to do with ancestors? I don't, maybe I'm not interested in having a family, or I never had a family, and I'm just on a spiritual path and that's what I want to do. Well, you may have brothers and sisters or mothers or fathers, whether they're here or whether they have passed away. So the continuation of the lineage is so that the lineage can continue to evolve wherever it is. So if you are have been praying for a baby, this is a really great time to pray for them. And also those people who had miscarriages or stillbirths or abortions, those people who those are souls who came into the earth plane and they couldn't quite have a full life. They're going to be restless, especially today, because they didn't get to continue their life, for one, and then they didn't even get to continue the lineage in this on the earth plane. So they may be restless as well. We'll talk about how that shows up in your life. So all of these situations, or any of these situations, can be applicable to each and every one of us. And there's no more need to suffer or feel bad or guilty or upset or sad. This is the time to let it go. So the vortex is opened up. All the ancestors who want you to have a continuation of your lineage in this lifetime, and in getting the blessings in all the realms that they are continuing on as they are evolving. We need to help one another, because one day we will be in the spiritual realm and we will want someone here to have done this. So that's us. And then we will get those blessings, because we're going to evolve the DNA inside of us, whether we're dead or alive. So with that, let's set it up for the video presentation. It's about 3 minutes long. And then it will just give you an example of how to do a TARPANAM. And then we will actually do another example of how to do the TARPANAM in real time. All right, here we go.
Most important thing is doing the Tarpanam, which is giving the offering to ancestors. Now, I have talked many times about the Tarpanam and how the Tarpanam can change your destiny.
How to do ancestor offering, Tarpanam. The materials that you will need are raw rice or white rice flour, black sesame seeds. Most health food stores carry this. Darba grass. 1 coin, dime or nickel, or gold coin if available. You may reuse the coins. A glass of water. For the purpose of this video, we will pour water into the Abhishekam plate. But when you are practicing Tarpanam at home, you would do this over a drain, in your sink or shower. Place a tablespoon of black sesame seeds, white rice, a coin, and a few small pieces of darba grass into the palm of your right hand. Take a glass of water and sprinkle a few drops over the offerings. Make a heartfelt prayer to your ancestors as you pour water over your hand and say, I invite you to take this offering. 6 generations of ancestors on my mother's side. Take this energy. Be healed. Be at peace. Cross into the light, and please don't forget to bless me. If you wish, you may name those family members that have passed on. Also, as you keep doing this ritual, in time you may increase up to 12 generations. Then pour the rest of the water over your right hand and let the offerings wash off completely. You may reuse the coin. Just rinse it off in water each time. Make a heartfelt prayer to your ancestors as you pour water over your hand and say, I invite you to take this offering. 6 generations of ancestors on my father's side. Take this energy. Be healed. Be at peace. Cross into the light. And please don't forget to bless me. If you wish, you may name those family members that have passed on. Also, as you keep doing this ritual, in time you may increase up to 12 generations on each side. Then, pour the rest of the water over your right hand and let the offerings wash off completely. And the ritual is complete. Now watch and see the benefits and improvements to your life of feeding and praying to your ancestors.
So there we have it. And there have been questions on the chat, which I will get to after we do our Tarpanam offering as a group here. And yes, you can do your Tarpanam for your husband's side of the family or your kids or whoever it is, as you are the representative. So whatever we do spiritually, whether it's Tarpanam or any spiritual practice or any of the sponsors, whether we sponsor any of the rituals that are offered throughout the year, whatever we're doing, it will impact everyone in our lives. So our family members, our significant others, our spouses, our partners in life, our kids, people in our community. So just know that whatever you do, the Tarpanam, it can be done for your family by you. All right, so let's get into it now, where I'm going to be moving away from the camera and you're going to be seeing a little altar that's set up here. By no means does your altar have to look like this, because some people are going to be doing their Tarpanam right in the shower. So this is just so that we can have a visual as we're going along. For those people who aren't prepared to participate, that's totally fine. And then those people who do have their Tarpanam mix, we can move along together. So by now people have joined and you have your setup at home. You can, this is the Tarpanam. I'll talk about the separate ingredients later. So for right now, we want to do the offering and then we'll come back afterwards. So the offering is going to consist of the actual offering of the Tarpanam, and then we will also do a little bit of a prayer at the end with a little bit of a meditation, so you can commune with your ancestors and maybe release something that came up for you. And forgiveness is key, right? This is the time to forgive and ask for forgiveness so that we can all move on and live a prosperous life, and they can move on and live an exalted life and bless us. So closing your eyes, putting your attention internally first, we will ask for the blessings of Ganesha and then also the blessings of Dr. Pillai. Ganesha is an elephant-headed being. He has a pot belly and he rides a mouse. His energy is at the base of your spine, in your navel, in your sex center, those lower chakras. Feel them coming to alive with reddish-orangish light. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Now imagine a ray of light shooting up your backbone, piercing all the chakras on the way up. Pierces the top of the skull and goes into the space, searching out your ancestors to come and bless you, to come and be blessed by you. We'll call on Dr. Pillai as a light being or a form you're familiar with. Embrace the energy being transmitted 2 beams of light entering your eyes, 2 beams of light entering either ear, piercing the eardrum, going inside and lighting up the brain. The whole face lights up. The inside of the head is lit up. A light beam enters your tongue. Tip of the tongue lights up. Middle of the tongue lights up. Back of the tongue, especially at the throat, light it up with this beam of light. And a light enters from above, pierces the top of your skull, activates your brain. The whole body lights up. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. Om Dram Dattatreya Shiva Baba Namaha. And slowly open your eyes. With your right hand, place it over the bowl or the sink. Take a small amount, about a coin size amount, in your right hand. Take a coin of any denomination, place it on top. You can take some darba grass if you have that, place it on top. If you have some tulsi seeds or tulsi leaves, you can put it on top of that as well. If you have a flower, you can also put it on there. Now, you can take an unopened bottle of water. It's open now, it's fresh. Or you can use the water from the tap. Or if you're at the ocean side or riverside or lakeside, you can also use the water there. And here we will pray now, wholeheartedly, sincerely from our heart, our mind, our body, our soul. We want to feel the ancestors come alive in our genes, our DNA, to come and get this offering. We'll offer to our 6 generations on the mother side of the family, the maternal side of the family. Pouring a little bit of water. Please come and take this offering. We sincerely, wholeheartedly wish for you to be moving into heavenly realms where you can be exalted. You can live a life that is free of suffering. Please come and bless us here on the earth plane, your descendants, including myself, the family, with peace, prosperity, enlightenment, continuation of the lineage, so they can be free of suffering, free of disease, free of financial worries, free of relationship issues, free of bickering and fighting, free of all harms, and spiritually evolve. I forgive you. Please forgive me. And with the rest of the water, you can rinse it. You can allow the coin to drop. Feel your body, feel what happened, observe the thoughts. Maybe a vision of your ancestors came to you. Now, we'll take another small amount of the Tarpanam offering. We can take the coin, place it on top. You can take a piece of the dharba, place it on top of that, and a little bit of tulsi seeds or leaves if you have it, some flowers, and once again, place a small amount of water. We'll ask the father side of the family for their blessings. Please take this offering 6 generations on my father's side of the family. Please move into higher realms where you can be at peace. You can evolve even into exalted states. Please bless me and everyone here on the earth plane, including the family, the lineage that you come from. Help us to be at peace, help us to prosper, help us to continue the lineage, help us to be free of financial worries, struggles, of any kind, disease that has been passed on through the generations. I forgive you for anything that you have done unto the descendants, and then please forgive us for not praying for your well-being. Take this offering and be at peace. Take the bottle of water or under the shower head or tap, water from the ocean or river, and just wash it all away. Observe what's going on. Your hands might be shaking. Your body might be shaking. You might be crying. You might have an experience or a memory that needs to be cleared from your ancestor, your gene pool. We're going to do a final ancestor offering because we can, and because we're here as a global community praying for the whole world. We can take another offering for all the ancestors who have ever gone before us and who can help the whole world come out of the harms and hurdles, especially during COVID times, lockdown, rioting, wars. It must end. So you've got your tarpanam, the coin, piece of darba grass, a little bit of the tulsi seeds, and maybe take some flower petals if you have it. Pour a little bit of water and the prayer. We ask all ancestors, the exalted ancestors of all times, to come and take this offering to help everyone here on the earth plane. You are in exalted states. Please take this offering so you can move into even more exalted states or more profound ways of being, so that you can help us to evolve here in the golden age and reveal to us all the secrets of life, a life of heaven on earth. We ask for your forgiveness, and please forgive us. And then you can just be pouring it there into the dish. And then when you're ready, you can just be relaxing, closing your eyes. You can bring your hands in prayer, or you can leave them open, palms up. Focus your attention on the base of the spine. We're going to activate the psycho-spiritual centers called chakras that will help to release anything that has been brought up to the surface of your consciousness or awareness that is no longer serving you, and you need it to be released. So base of the spine. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest. Move up to the throat, clear the throat. Move up to the third eye, the middle of your brain. Om. Float back down to the base of the spine. Connect with the earth element, even in the legs, in the feet. Na, 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 na. Move into the belly, the navel chakra. Connect with the water element. Cleanse all the suffering away from the abdominal area. Ma, 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 ma. Move up to the heart center, middle of the chest. Also down the arms and hands and fingers. Set them on fire. She. Move up to the throat, the mouth, the nostrils. Connect with the air element or subtler air, prana, the life force. Va, 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 va. Now move into the two eyes, the right and left brain. Connect with the ether, the Akash space. Ya, 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 ya. Now put your attention in the middle of your brain, the third eye. Feel it opening. Like a lotus flower blooming, or any flower. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Now, imagine you're connecting with the ancestral realm in the macrocosm, the space above, all around. We'll call on Vishnu on our behalf. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Narayanaya. Bring your attention into your heart center. Release any pain or suffering. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Om Namo make your final prayer to your ancestors to be relieved of any pain and suffering, to evolve to exalted states of being, if that's possible. Ask for forgiveness, and you forgive them. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to all souls, here on the earth plane and on other planes. Pray for whatever it is that you want the blessings to help you out in the area of your life that you need it the most. Pray for the continuation of your lineage in a peaceful and prosperous way. Pray for those who need it the most: food, clothing, shelter, medicine, clean water to drink, to bathe in. Love, unconditional love. And relax. Take your time to come back. And as you're coming back, take notice of what your thoughts are, what your feelings are, what your experience has been, what the message has been for you from your ancestors. So that can be through an image, an experience, a message, a little whisper in the ear. Can be from a release that you had. So as you're coming back to yourselves, I'll just check the chat and see what's happening with everyone. Thanks for joining those of you who need to go. The recording will be here on YouTube, so it'll be immediately after we end it. It will be available for you to watch. So somebody's saying there are some interferences, and it could have been technological, but it also can be that we're tapping into a very profound spiritual experience. All these ancestors are flooding to the earth plane during these 15 days. And we can experience their energy before the start of Mahalaya Paksha, and also during and afterwards as well. So it's not limited. And then they may hang around because we've communed with them. We have a communication with them. We've opened up a conversation with them at the level of the body, the mind, the soul, and the DNA. So they may be asking us for their help throughout the rest of the year until this period of time comes again. And there are other power moons of the year. And you can find out about that by participating or even just reading about it, the year-long TARPANAM program, which I highly, highly recommend. I've had a messed up gene pool that I was born into. And it has taken the year-long programs for me to realize how important it is for my spiritual evolution. As I'm evolving, I need to do more for my gene pool here to stop the suffering that we inherited through disease like cancer or heart disease or arthritis. Those long and drawn out painful diseases are part of our gene pool. Also financial problems, ups and downs, businesses that were so successful were wiped out in an instant. Then the children, parents and children bickering and fighting, or even amongst the parents, the aunts and uncles. So those generational bickering and fighting that just goes on, and it almost becomes a curse. And in some realms, it is considered a curse. So it's an energy that you can't get out of. You feel like you're so trapped and you didn't sign up for this and you're a good person. So the year-long program for me and for many people who have started to participate in it, they can see immediately how things are being cleaned up financially, health-wise, and not only for your health or your finances, because you could be okay, but you see it's rampant amongst your brothers or your sisters or their kids or your kids. There can be, you did everything for your kids and they have now left you and you never hear from them. What's that all about? So it could be, if you explore the different interpersonal family relationships that are part of the descendants here, and then also your ascendant, your ancestors. So you can see that. And then if you get a naughty reading, which is a really powerful tool to connect with your ancestors as well, you'll find out the spiritual ancestors or the exalted ancestors that have cursed you, and you need to do something about it. So this is maybe an opening for some people to find out about Mahalaya. It might be for others who know about Mahalaya, but they want to explore a deeper connection to the ancestors. And then the Vedic specialists are doing everything on our behalf every day. There are so many remedies that we couldn't possibly do because they're in all different spots around India, power spots. So the Vedic specialists are set up there. They will say our names and they will say our birth star, and then the family's names that are struggling, the ancestors who have passed. And then that gets done for us every single day. So you can actually feel the cleansing going on inside of you in some of the power times throughout the year that are connected to the ancestors. And then you will see thereafter how it's showing up, how it's cleaning up. The relationships are so key to my own experience and many people. Their kids, they have a beautiful relationship with their kids, their family members, a lot of forgiveness. People are coming out of like addiction. So addiction is a big one that gets inherited through the generations. And it can be, as we mentioned yesterday, it can be a spendthrift. You just take money in and you just throw it away. You can't hold on to it. Your hands can't hold on to it. So that's what gets people into debt. And a lot of problems arise from that. A lot of bickering and fighting in families, or your own suffering. So addictions to gambling or taking high risks. So it doesn't mean you go to the casino, but you take high risks in life and you say, this is it. I'm going to just invest all my money into this big, huge house. And it's, it takes you out and there's big losses. And that's just an example. Or it can be that you, spend a lot of money on your education and then you didn't ever even finish it, or you didn't do anything related to it. And you feel like, oh my God, that was such a waste. Nothing is ever a waste because, as we know, on the spiritual path, we're just cleaning up karmas, but we don't want to take these big risks. And that's what the ancestors who are kind of like gamblers, or they took big risks, they had it all, they lost it, and they don't care anymore because they're evolved. But then they're into the next level of evolution, which is in the spiritual realm. But now they are banging on us and saying, hey, don't do that. It's going to cause a lot of pain and suffering because I'm here in the spiritual realm, and it isn't all happy. It's not heaven. It's a suffering realm. And as Dr. Playa shared, that some of the ancestors are hanging upside down. Can you imagine? So, or in firing states, hellish states, these are not places, they are states of consciousness. So they can't come out of it until they are purified. So that purgatory state is a place where they need to purify all the mistakes that they had made in the lifetime that they had just left. So, sorry, that's my alarm to say, hey, we should get on with what is happening at Pillai Center. And I am sharing about the year-long program. So please explore that. It is something that you can do on a monthly basis. There are different levels and you see what resonates with you. And then throughout the year, I think you can also upgrade as you go along, because you'll start to feel it and you go, oh my goodness, and you'll start to see it in your life. See the changes in your own being, and then you will have interactions with your family members that maybe you didn't have a really great relationship with them, and all of a sudden it's like nothing ever existed before that moment that you connected, and it's all fabulous from there on. That's how the spiritual technology changes the DNA. So it can't keep repeating itself. It can't keep pinging you to be the same old, same old. So you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Keep the baby, your relationships, and love it and enjoy. So that's what's happened to a lot of us, where there was no way that anyone would forgive anyone. And now it's all come around to, wow, that was weird. So you can, it's never too late. You can experience this beauty and joy and happiness in your relationships with your family members due to your efforts to bless the ancestors, and then they will come and do stuff behind the scenes. And then once the DNA changes, then your expression of the DNA will change. Even if your family members are not participating in any spiritual practices, they will start to wake up because we share their DNA as well. So that's one of the reasons why we really want people to invite them into, hey, this is what you can do on a daily basis. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. You brush your teeth every day. You do your Tarpanam offering every day. This can be a little bit longer because it's a demonstration that I did. I do it and it's less than a minute. So as you're going along, you can add more generations. We just started with 6 because Dr. Playa shared that 6 or 7 generations are that have gone before us are the ones who are impacting us the most. But then you can go to 12, you can go to 18, you can go to 64 generations. You can go to, no, all the generations are taken care of. You can just, not just pray for the world, but you can pray for all beings to be at peace as you're evolving. So you're not just doing it on a psychological or an intellectual level or philosophical level. You want to feel that. So as you are doing your Tarpanam, you may want to repeat that process that we just went through. Some people are doing it 108 repetitions during Mahalaya Paksha every day. So that is something special, and it takes a little bit to get everything organized, but there people have felt so much release, so much relief from negative, congested, painful, frustrated, angry states of being. And then they watch in their life and they're not pulling out their credit card so much, or they're putting it actually away or cutting it. And they're really taking every area of their life very serious about cleaning it up in a joyful way. So I know that sounds a little bit strange, but you're really focused. That's the serious part of it. And you're just saying, okay, enough. Because the ancestors are on your side telling you to do it now because you've offered so many offerings to them. So that's the year-long program during Mahalaya Paksha. If you participate in the services that are offered through Apply Center or Ashurved, depending on your preference, and we encourage you, just participate because you will feel the blessings. There are power times throughout this 15 days, and we're going to tell you all about them as we go along if you attend this workshop for the 15 days, which I hope you will. And so you can experience the shifts. So Mahabharani is a star that's coming up, a birth star that's coming up. It's on the 4th moon day of this Mahalaya period. And then there's the 8th moon and 11th moon and then the new moon. So these are moons that are coming up. So the 4th is the next one coming up in a couple of days. So check out that offering and see if it's still available. You can participate. If it's not available, you can still participate. You can, because there are ways that you can, go into an essential package or an enhanced package or premier, royal, whatever it is that they have there. And then just read about it. Reading about it is actually giving you the knowledge, and knowledge comes from our intellect, our understanding of it. And then when we ping our intellect, our understanding, then this wisdom, this knowledge gets expressed through our genes. And so our DNA will say, you need to really honor these ancestors because they are cursed and they are cursing you. You may think, why would they do that? But this is what's happening at a spiritual level. And all of us do know, how come I work so hard? How come I'm such a good person? And yet I see Joe Blow and they just are not doing anything. They're not even spiritual. They're cussing, they're swearing, they're drinking, they're whatever it is. They're living like this unexalted state of being. Not that I'm judging it, but they're running a business. Their kids are hanging out with them every weekend. They don't seem to be ever sick. So what is that? They've got a lot of blessings no matter what is happening in their karmic life at this point in time. It's not to say that it could all go away if they're misusing it, and if the exalted ancestors have a time limit on it for all that partying going on, then that's what it is. But we're asking that question, how come I'm not at that level? I'm more educated. I have all these blessings. I am so spiritual. I am this, I am that. I'm a good person. I'm charitable. I donate. It may be that you've got big curses. You've got big karmas that the ancestors, as they say, the sins of the father, we're paying for it. So the sins of the forefathers, meaning it's coming through the lineage. And we want to get that all cleaned up. So participating during Mahalaya is really, really going to do that for you. And we'll get these exalted ancestors who are coming in. Now it's 2020, it's the golden age where things are happening faster. We don't have to wait too long. So once we commune with them, we connect with them through these powerful rituals that are done on our behalf, our soul's behalf, and our ancestors' behalf, then things shift much more quickly than they did, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago, 40 years, 50 years ago. It's a different time space continuum. So Dr. Pillai really wants you to take a look at it, read about it, and that will help you to, at least even if you can't participate in it at this point in time, you fed your soul this knowledge. And then maybe down the road, you'll be able to participate in the year-long program, which will include next year's Mahalaya. So I love the Mahalaya the year-long program, because I used to just fork out a lot of money for Mahalaya, and then because they didn't have the year-long program. So your Mahalaya will be included in that year-long program as well. So I'm going to take a look here at the chat, and we have a few minutes left of our session. So see, people are asking, can I follow along? Can I do the Tarpanam practice with you if it's nighttime where I am? So Tarpanam is done between sunrise and sunset hours. So if you are watching this and you want to participate, you can just participate by watching. And then during your sunrise and sunset hours, in between those hours, you can then do it. And this recording will be available, so you can just fast forward it to the Tarpanam and go along with that. Juliet is saying, thank you very much. I feel so much peace. I feel calm after doing the practice, very tranquil. Where can I buy Darba grass? You can check it out online. You can go to, I don't know, maybe you can't go to because of COVID, but phone your local Indian temple, the Hindu temples, and they may know of where to go. Or you can look online and maybe there's a store, India Puja store in your location, and then they may be able to help you out getting some Darba grass. Rigo is saying here, thanks a lot. Beautiful meditations are always amazing. That's due to the grace and blessings of the ancestors and Dr. Pillai as well. It was very pleasant. I feel something stuck between my throat and my heart. Well, this is the area of the karma. And when we're bringing the Kundalini energy up, all the energy from the base of the spine, why the base of the spine? That's where survival anxiety is. That's where we run here and there, trying to make money, trying to make friends, trying to, do whatever we can to stay healthy. So the energy gets stuck. So as it's coming up and it moves into the heart has all these desires it wants to be fulfilled. And some of them, they get stuck. So everything that comes up can get stuck in the throat. And then the energy, the karma is stuck in the throat already. When you get exposed to a bacteria or virus, first thing you feel is in the throat, the mouth, and in the back of the throat, or the nasal, eyes. So those openings, they also, health-wise or from a medical perspective, the energy gets trapped in the throat, and that's where the disease can then be swallowed, and then it just gets full on manifestation. So energetically and also physically, this is where we get blocked. And then we can't go up to the third eye, which pops open like a blooming lotus. And then you feel that connection. You have a divine Wi-Fi connection all the time. You're like a satellite dish. Has someone coined the term in one of the courses. I loved it. And sorry if I don't remember your name, but it was very cool. And so that opening of the vortex, maybe it was for us. But so it's like a satellite dish. We're tuning it in to the divine to come in and bless us all the time. And then that energy comes in, clears up the throat, moves down. So we receive and we send up the signal. So there's always this dance of the divine going on inside of us, but mostly it gets stuck in the throat. So do a lot of your TARPANAM and feel that release. Once you feel the release, you go, oh my God, this works. So this is a technology that you want to do every day and implement it into your daily activities of life, such as take a shower, bring it right in. So we showed this to you yesterday. You can have your TARPANAM mix in a plastic container. It's sealed, so it's waterproof. You got the coin inside and everything else. And so you take your shower, and then you can do it immediately, as Dr. Ply says, underneath the shower head, rinse it all away. Make sure though that in your drain, you have a drain catcher, a drain screen, so it can capture all the ingredients. And even with this bowl of the items that we offered in the water, that can just be poured down the sink. Again, it can be, you have to have a catcher so you can catch all the items, and then you can just put it in the recycling, or you can put it out in the yard. You can actually do your TARPANAM outside if that's cool. You want to be discreet. If you're near an ocean and you want to do the 108 offerings at some point, then, do it in a place that's private for you, because you will go through so much. You're not just going to be doing it mechanically. You're going to be, the ancestors are coming. And so you will experience a tremendous cathartic release, a lot of deep, profound experiences, memories, and so on. If you want to journal your process through Mahalaya, get the insights. Maybe you might even get messages on how to create they might give you an idea of how to create a fabulous business online. Now that COVID is happening and people are doing more businesses online, it's the way of the world now. So your ancestors can also be guiding you to do that, to help out with your kids. This is the continuation of the lineage. It's not about just having them. It's about having a beautiful relationship with them, helping them with their education, also their spiritual education. Not that they have to do this, what you're doing, because nobody has to do what you're doing. It's a very personal and private thing. So if they ask you what you're doing and they're open to it, they can participate too. In fact, kids love it. It's a fun thing to do because there's lots of different items. And so they can be participating in it as well. And even if they don't do it all the time, it won't matter. So implement this in your everyday life, and then experience the shifts and the changes, and then find out. Sometimes people say, oh gosh, like me, I really, really wanted to participate in the Mahalaya services, sponsor them. And it just seemed to me it was an impossibility. I was not going to be able to do it. It was not going to be able to fit it into my budget. Even the $47 one, I just couldn't do it. And all of a sudden, something came out of nowhere. I got just enough to cover it. And I went, okay, this came out of nowhere. I am doing this. And that was the beginning. It was like a seed that got planted. And since then, every year, in the Royal Plus package for the TARPANAM for the ancestors. And for me, it's such a joy because it's all going on behind the scenes. It's done every day for me. And I feel it every day. I feel the agitation in me comes up from that deep level, the cell level, the DNA level. it's coming up and it just ripples away. Whereas before I was just popping, I was bickering and fighting and, and it wasn't because I wanted to, it was just like, it would just, what's wrong with this picture? I'm just asking a question, but the energy of the ancestors was just killing the situation. So that's what I mean by you will feel so much peace and you will have so many surprises in your life. Even if you have, family members who are, distant from you, or they act, even if they're in your presence, they act very distant. That will all be removed. So there's a video out, I think it's even out now on Ply Center. It's only about 3 or 4 minutes. And it's Dr. Ply talking about the difference between you doing your own personal daily do-it-yourself home practice versus the Vedic specialists doing it. So please get that, just watch it. It's like 3 minutes. And you will understand, because it's coming from him, he will go really deep into your soul. That's how he did it for me. He said, you should do this. And I'm like, offering black sesame seed and white rice powder, how is that going to work? And that was 20 years ago. And I've been doing it as often as I can on a daily basis. If I'm traveling and I don't have access to a bathroom, if I'm in flight and it's not daylight hours. So there are times where it hasn't been, but this goes with me everywhere. And when I used to go to a workplace, to a building, this would go with me, and a bottle of water would always be available. So I would do it in the parking lot just before I would go to work, or I could stop along the way if I had time and do it somewhere where it would be discreet. So there are no reasons. And people say, I do it in the bathroom at work, or I do it. Some people say they do it over the toilet, but that's up to you. But, there's no reason why you can't do it. So implement it like you would taking a shower, brushing your teeth, feeding your ancestors. This is something that I mentioned yesterday, but I want to mention it again. Get some honey and have some ginger. So this is what fresh ginger root looks like in Canada. And it's just there cut for viewer purposes. And then what you can do is further cut it down into these little pieces, and then put the honey in. It will go kind of liquidy after a while because the ginger and the honey reaction, there's some science going on there. So you can just take a little spoonful and then pop a bit in. I like it a lot, but some people say it burns them. So just take you would cut your fingernail, that's a small slice amount, and then dip it in honey. So you can put some honey on a plate and then just dip it and then take it. And that again is technology that even if you knew about the science behind it, it wouldn't even touch what it does spiritually to you, to your DNA. So it's going to root out poverty consciousness, scarcity consciousness, not having enough, disease, bickering, fighting. It's what does it. So try it out and implement it into your everyday life. And then we've got these Nambu capsules. They are nambuherbs.com. And this is an example. This is Shreem Brazil. And this is the bottle that it looks like. And then you can go on to nambuherbs.com. And why I'm saying that is you're ingesting wealth consciousness, because it's energized with phonemes for you to change the DNA inside of you. So maybe you don't even know who your parents are, or your biological brothers and sisters. Again, it doesn't matter, because you're here as a soul and you're getting this information. So start to practice it, and then you might even meet them someday or not. It won't matter. Or you have had great relationships, but now you're on different parts of the world, so you don't see each other, but you will connect with each other at that level of the soul, and you will clean up the karma. That's the main thing. We don't want to come back again and again, having to suffer more and more. So suffering is optional. So participating in these services, doing the Tarpanam, taking the Nambu herbs, these are all things that will help to turn your life around, change your DNA, so that it starts to get expressed in a wealthy, healthy, happy, wise, manner. And then everyone else is going to benefit. Anya is saying here, my daily Tarpanam is very short as taught a few years ago. I usually feel spaced out during the Tarpanam, and during the deep winter, I rush through it because I perform it outside. Is that okay? Absolutely. Again, you can do it as fast as you want or as slow as you want, and anywhere you want. It is your heartfelt desire and your soul felt desire to do something that you cannot do. You've tried everything. You've tried to go to your financial advisors or family members to help out with your finances, to get that sorted out. It's not happening. Or jobs, you never get promoted, and you are so devoted to your jobs. People don't get along with you, your family members. So we don't have to look too far to see that the ancestors, those expressions of those ones who are troubled, they're trying to speak to us in our everyday life. So Mahalaya is the time where it's going to get, the volume is going to get turned up. And you will see it. So just even during this time, if you don't believe anything, just observe and see how you feel. Maybe you'll have tremendous headache or migraines, or you might have pain that comes up, or you may have gone for a doctor's visit and then they find out that there's something wrong with your blood tests. And you're like, what? I'm healthy. Your ancestors are coming in and saying, well, no, this was the time that we got cancer out of nowhere. So if that's in your lineage, I'm not saying that everyone is going to get it, because I got it running in my lineage as well. And it's about a 50-50. And so the people who are very spiritual, I see that there's a protection with their body, mind, and soul. And they also do follow healthy habits in their everyday life. So then the kids fighting, or you have a distance with the kids. They're there, but they're really not there. They're there, but not there, right? So that will start to just shift, and you'll be like, where's your phone? Where's that appendage? How come you're paying attention to me? You won't be saying that, but you'll be saying it to yourself. Or you have a conversation with your bitter old grandparent or parent, and it's just been hellish for you, and you can't get a breakthrough. All of a sudden they're like talking as if they're from heavenly realms. And you're so sweet and you're such an angel, and you're going, what? So that's how it can show up as well. Or out of nowhere you get a promotion, or someone says, hey, you want to come and start up a business with me? That's the ancestors. So Adriana is saying here, great experience. My ancestors are very thankful to you, to me too. I woke up feeling so full of power today, as it hasn't happened in years. That's what I'm saying. You just show up and you do the thing that's already blessed by Dr. Ply. He knows what it is for all of us to live in this 21st century and have no time, or we don't have, maybe we've fallen off of our tradition. We've decided to jump traditions or jump spiritual teachings, and we're all over the map. He knows we're like a bunch of little kitty cats running around. He's trying to herd us. Try to herd a kitty cat or a herd of kitty cats. It's not easy. You're just like all over the place. So that's what we are like too. So he just says, okay, do this thing, show up, and then you will be heard in a different way. By your ancestors, you will log on and you will be like purring like a kitty cat after that, and so will they. So I'm just using that metaphor because we need something to understand that we're all over the map, and we're trying to find a way to have a better life. So we're inviting you to participate, then check it out and see if you want to sponsor these rituals, because not only will they be done for you, they'll be done for your whole family. And then they're also done for your ancestors. And then collectively, we're doing it for the world. And that's what spiritual people want to do. They want to live a purposeful life, but they don't have time. They don't have the energy. They don't even have the expertise, including myself. So I'm here to be a facilitator to show you what it is that you can do very easily. But do I understand it fully? Absolutely not. And That's why we have the Sadguru who knows. He can help us to then navigate what's next for us and next for everyone. And usually people, when they meet Dr. Pillai, they will say, thank you so much. You did so much for my family. And he'll go, I never met you and I never met your family. So, but you're welcome. I'm glad you got something out of the teachings. Nasa is saying, is it needed that my mom do Tarpanam if I'm doing it? If she doesn't want to do it, you can do it. So we don't want to push anyone to do it. We doing it and saying, you don't have to say, I'm doing this for my mom, my dad, my brothers, my sisters. You don't have to say any of that. You're there. You're connecting with that gene pool. You're the rep. I'm the representative of this gene pool. And I will do this. And then it will be for our ancestors, all those who have gone before us. Please bless us. Please forgive us. We forgive you. And whatever your prayer is. So don't get too caught up in, oh my God, do I eat non-veg food or veg food? Do I meditate before? Do I just do what you can to get into that state of receptivity? Shower is always good, or at least throw some water on your face, brush your teeth. You know, be as cleansed as possible so that you can be present to another energy, another experience, another realm of consciousness that we don't do every day. Unless you've been doing the Tarpanam a lot, you will just be guided. Sometimes working from home, I'm guided. Okay, I'm really stuck. I'll just go to the sink and do the Tarpanam. Splash some water on the face, brush the teeth, not a big deal. And then just go do it and go back to the desk. All of a sudden, fabulous ideas come, things shift, you know. So Amalita is saying here, thank you very much. Felt them, the ancestors, because I had goosebumps during the Tarpanam. These free Mahalaya group chanting with the unconditional love. Oh, you're very welcome, from Dr. Pillai and Suchita. So Sarah's saying, as soon as you think it, it happens. You're making it happen instantaneously. Yeah, so we're thinking, we're manifesting, connecting to the ancestors and getting their blessings, and they get our blessings. It's already done. It's a done deal. So Melanie is saying, I was feeling very disturbed and lethargic this morning after Tarpanam. I lit a Saturn lamp and could instantly feel my energy shifting. It was unbelievable. Thank you, Sucharita, for your teachings. You're very welcome. And I'm just going to show people what a Saturn lamp is and why it could be helpful as well. Because Saturn is a planetary being. It's not just a ball in the sky. It is a being that delivers karma. So you can see in here, it's burned right down, and it rarely does that during a session. So a lot of karma got burned during this group session. Very happy about that. So you can see the black sesame seeds, and then a little bit of the oil is still left there, sesame oil. And what that does, you can see the relationship between the black sesame seeds that we offer to the ancestors and then the black sesame seeds that we offer to Lord Saturn. So thank you for sharing that, Melanie, that, you know, you can keep going. You can repeat this offering, and then maybe the ancestors you'll feel this release, or you'll feel more energy, something shifted. And then you can just stop it and say, okay, I'll feed you later on when I can, or definitely we'll do it tomorrow. So we want to start to open up that line of communication. If you add the Saturn lamp, that is also very powerful too, because Saturn delivers karma that we are energetically, we want to express it because that's what our genes are saying. Even though we say, hey, I want to be a doctor, and there are no doctors in the lineage, but somewhere down the line, you hear, oh, there was a doctor, or there was a nurse, or there was a chiropractor, or someone who was in the health profession. And then that's pumping the ideas into you through the genes, and they want to get expressed. So that is your karma. So then you can get blessings from the ancestors, whoever they were, to help you to go along, if that's what you want to do. So Saturn will, help to diffuse a lot of the congested energy around you fulfilling your desires. Elizabeth is saying, was just coming in from the outside doing Tarpanam. Beautiful big white feather was on my path on the ground. Wow. that's the way the ancestors will speak as well. They'll speak through the birds, the small animals, through getting something like a white feather out of nowhere. Or even I've been sitting at my desk and it's like an office setting. And so there's nothing going on in there, no stuffed animals. And yet a little tiny, tiny feather will be there out of nowhere. And you go, okay, I think I'll go feed my ancestors. So, and then you experience, the shift there. So it's like, how to dial them up, you send text messages to everyone else. So this is the way you text message your ancestors and get a response back right away. Francesco is saying here, I'm at night. Is that okay to do the offering or I'll do the ritual? Yeah. So again, I think I mentioned that you can watch it and experience the energy that's part of the group, and collectively we're trying to raise the roof of all the suffering. So bringing in more exalted ancestors, you can pray that the exalted ancestors come in and that your ancestors are relieved, but you're not actually doing the Tarpanam. You can do it tomorrow. Insight into one of the recommendations is not to clean up the clutter in, yeah. So Karen is asking about the to-dos and don'ts that were shared in different video presentations by the Vedic specialists, the Vedic astrologers. Vijayalakshmi was one who did a series of Mahalaya videos. And as per your tradition, so if you're from the Indian tradition and you've been practicing what they have been doing all along, or you're from another tradition, every tradition honors the souls and they do it at their different times of the year. So the do's and don'ts are just practical tips. When you're with Dr. Pillai, you can just do what he has shared, because we come from all different traditions. And so it can be confusing and it can be not natural for us, and we can be worried or concerned. So don't be worried or concerned. Again, these are just guidelines. If it's part of your tradition, it's just a reminder. Vijayalakshmi is reminding people who are from that tradition to follow those guidelines. But for me, I just follow in Dr. Pillai's footsteps, and he just says, okay, do this, because in some lifetime we've done all that. And we've explored it all. And so we just need to be able to get something very quick to navigate in this lifetime out of the harms and hurdles. So definitely I respect Vijayalakshmi fully. In fact, she always gives me a message during Mahalaya about my mother, who had passed away many, many years ago. And she said every year she gives me a message and says, this is what's happening with your mom. Because I can't see, she can. So she's joyful and happy to have that confirmation from Vijayalakshmi, who sees her and gets the message for me and says, here, my mom wants to give you a message. Your mom wants me to give you a message. Here it is. And it's just like, oh, wow. I'm so grateful. So Vijayalakshmi, I respect everything she is saying and sharing, but just that's part of the tradition. So please don't be stressed out. Just follow the guidelines, however you want. And then Dr. Pillai has given guidelines, as we are here doing today and every other day that we'll do that follows, or every day, not every other day. We're going to be doing it every day. So, if you can have, just check inside of you, check inside. Do I want to do this? If it's pulling you to do it, then it's right for you, because we live in the 21st century. We live in different countries. We have different, even the directions. Dr. Pillai says, face south. The south is the placement or space energy, the directional strength you gain from the south is from Lord Yama. Lord Yama is the god of death. He's the one who's connected to the ancestors. So you can face south, but then some people say face east. Some people say north, west. Oops, sorry. Someone took me out. So maybe that's a sign that we need to wrap up. So thanks everyone for joining today. We'll continue on our conversation tomorrow. And if you have any questions, bring them tomorrow to the session. And hopefully you will have an amazing rest of your journey with your ancestors today. They will be communicating with you in a way that is going to be maybe more profound. Maybe you'll be releasing some things. Maybe people will call you up from your family out of nowhere. Maybe some talks of inheritance will get cleaned up. So maybe you will feel better, like people have been sharing. They just feel like they have more energy, more strength that hasn't been there before. So count your blessings from the ancestors and know that they're always with you, guiding you. You don't have to talk to them as if they're individual ancestors, like, you know, your mom has passed. I know my mom's passed. I'm going, hey, have fun up there. Don't come here to the earth plane. Have fun, but bless us, whatever you're doing, and all the other ancestors who have passed as well. So God bless you all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.